So glad to have you all here again today for another episode of Chatting with Cheddar. Today, we're going to have Ted again, of course, as our host. So without any further ado, let me introduce the host with the most, the king of this thing himself, Ted Cheddar! Woo! Ted, go Ted!
Wow, God, there's a lot of you here tonight. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Jesus, wow. Thank you all so much for turning out. I really appreciate it. So, you've probably all guessed why you're all here, you know. Bishop is our guest tonight. Now, whether you're new to this city or whether you've just been here for a long time, you're really going to want to know what Bishop is about to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to fucking talk for any much longer. He's why you're all here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Mr. Bishop Bronson.
Woo!
My man.
Hey, Bishop!
Thank you so much for coming, Bishop. I really appreciate this, my man.
Absolutely, it's an honor. Cheddar, brother.
Take a seat. Lovely. Well, Bishop, let's just get right into it then. Let's start off before you came to the city. Let's start off with your early life. Could you tell us a little bit about your childhood, Bishop? What it was like growing up?
Sure, absolutely, Cheddar. Well, Bishop grew up, in the ghetto or whatever, I guess you can say, on the streets of Chicago. My parents, they moved us around a lot or whatever, so kind of not had no permanent foundation. Me always had a good head on my shoulders, when me was younger, but, me still ended up getting caught up with the wrong crowd every once in a while, pretty much, the typical grew up poor, living in the projects, roaches and everything like that, but, things were hard, but that stuff, build character and only make you stronger,
Gonna say that the stuff in your early life probably later on helped you out a little bit, and that leads me on to the next question. Tell us how you got started with the militia.
All right, for sure. So, I mean, this, it kind of piggyback off the first question you asked, growing up, my father, him came from, the homeland or whatever back in Jamaica. And growing up, him taught me a lot about, oppression and, injustice and, to be careful of a big government and big bank and things like that. And, stand up for the people and stuff like that. So I grew up with them morals, you know what I'm saying? And me came to, LS to start over, me got here, it was a struggle at first. And, as everyone else, we got on our grind or whatever. And, when we went to, certain places, we would bump into, this couple that me got real close to named, the audience, and you probably heard of them, but Nigel and Abby, them run the rental service. And great people, you know what I'm saying? Me explain to them about what the militia stand for and, how, me not trying to form a gang, but, me trying to form a family, a group of, entrepreneurs and, motivated individuals and, people that stand for a higher cause and, put community first before their own banks and everything like that. So they were really feeling what me was pitching to them. So, they decided to join the militia. And, since then, we've been trying to show face and, do our good deeds and stuff like that. And, since people see, what we stand for, the family has grown substantially.
Yeah, and a big shout out to the militia today as well for doing the security for us. It's always well appreciated, and it never goes unnoticed. So thank you very much. So you were talking about how you were growing up and how your father stood up for oppression and things like that. Now, during your time, obviously living in this great city, have you ever experienced any sort of oppression or anything like that your father might have experienced? Could you tell us maybe about any stories at all that spring to mind when it comes to your time in the militia, or your time sort of? Have you experienced any hardships at all?
Yeah, I gotta say, there's definitely some things going on that my father would be against, and obviously, me stand against. Before me go on, me do want to say, give a big shout out to the PD officers and the BCSO officers that have been working with the militia closely for the past 2.5 months or whatever, trying to clean up the streets and, trying to clean up the Vespucci area of the drug sales and everything like that. So we met a lot of good police officers, but unfortunately, it seemed like there's a couple bad apples spoiling the bunch. Me have stories on end, unfortunately, some of them I can't go into detail because, we're waiting for the DOJ to get a bit stronger so that we can actually bring these cases to light. So some of these cases, some of the things we can't actually say, but we will bring up one story that happened.
Please do.
So imagine that, you're part of a group that stands for protecting, the populace and, and standing up, for injustice and stuff. And, you're sitting in an establishment and you hear gunshots, you run outside the building to check it out. As you move forward, the shots, you start getting shot at as you're moving towards the scene to see what's going on. You pull out your gun to defend yourself because you can't see who's shooting at you, and you start shooting back because, to defend yourself. Then when the people come into view or whatever, who you're shooting at, and you notice that it's the police officers that were shooting at you. Okay. BCSO, I'm pretty sure, that was the one, Officer Carter, to be exact also. And imagine them approach you with them guns drawn, and you're taking cover with your hands up, yelling, don't shoot, we're civilians, don't shoot, we're civilians. And then at point blank range, you get shot anyways. And then after the situation, you have these officers standing over your body laughing at it.
Okay. This happened to you?
This did not happen to me. This happened to my militia brother Craven. It also happened to who else was with him was Eddie from Eddie's camel towing. And it was also, I may not remember the third person, but it was them three. And so there's 3 people there to corroborate the story. But
have these people that you just mentioned there, these people that this police brutality happened to, have they come forward and said anything, or are they?
You want to hear what the statement we was told, right? Yeah. Them pretty much said you might want to tell your militia brothers and sisters not to run into a gunfight. That's the extent of their compassion towards the situation.
And these are just to be clear, these are a group. This isn't the whole of PD. This is just a group
just a few individuals.
A few like you so well put, a few bad apples.
Absolutely. And me just notice how it seemed like and me just generalizing, but the good officers out there, who you are, but it just seemed like the PD and the BCSO have a win mentality, and me think that them forget that them public servants, you know what I'm saying? Them here, they're here to protect. You know what I'm saying? Like they're here to protect and serve, and it's a shame that, we have, unlawful searches, search and frisks. We have, unwarranted raids on establishments or whatever, legal establishments. Okay. Now we got civilians getting shot when them surrendering and having them hands up. All right. The other day, me got hit by a BCSO officer, while me was at a red light, and he was in the, I was in the right-hand lane, him was in the left-hand lane, smashed right into me, didn't skip a beat, just kept going. Me just feel like there's an abuse of power, and what's going to happen is that people are going to be wary of dealing with with the cops. Them not going to want to, deal with the cops because them scared. Them scared that them going to keep trying to flex their penis size, flex their muscle and continue to be assholes, when them don't realize that them public servants and them actually work for us.
What would you propose as a truce to all this? What do you think that this goes? That how far do you think this will take? Do you think it'll get resolved? Do you think some violent action needs to be taken, or do you think this can be solved just by sitting in a room like this and talking it all out? Where do you see this going?
Well, yeah, like me say, the militia diplomats or whatever, and, me gonna kill them with my words, you know what I'm saying? Just like here, me had totally different topics that me wanted to talk about until, recent events that happened that me feel like the community need to know about, and
because when I was going to speak to you earlier, you said something about the Kings of Guru, but this is a more pressing matter, and I think you're totally right in saying, in speaking and sharing your story with all these people, because it is something that's important and needs to be spoken about.
Absolutely. So, like me say, me gonna keep, continue to try and bring light to it through things like this. Maybe work with the Weasel News to, start a story on it. Me gonna, if me have to, me will organize protests, peaceful protests, and, it's just sad, you have people like, Officer Maya that do her due diligence, what I'm saying? Yes. And I feel like her gets shit on. You got people like, like Murphy, that, which in my opinion, he should be chief of the BCSO, not Gardner. Okay. Because in all honesty, the community does not like Gardner. And we're going to tell you firsthand, me dealt with him a few times, and me also do not like him. So if you're out there watching, remember, you are a public servant. You work for us. You guys are not narcs. You guys are not detectives. You guys are not feds. You guys are not border patrol. You guys are public servants. Okay. So I think that you need to reevaluate, your how you're doing things, because it's going to force people out of the city. Okay, it's already bad enough to where the police aren't responding to, here's another example. I may not mean to rattle on, Cheddar, but
of course, this is your time.
So me got an issue with the fact that there's multiple reports every few hours about people getting robbed, shot, and taken hostage at the smeltery, at the stonewashing, and at the mines. Okay, the PD and the BCS know all well about this, and me never see a presence down there. All right, just one vehicle assigned to that area to do a few patrols would deter the criminals. You know what I'm saying? But then them have the nerve to post up in front of my grandmother's flower shop, okay, and and sit there and harass people. And it's like, so you have enough time and you have the numbers to send someone over to sit there and watch me grandmother's flower shop, but you not have the time to sit there and protect the people you're actually supposed to be protecting. They're more worried about responding to bank heists and bank trucks or whatever than them are going and stopping the criminals that are actually robbing people. So I think that is a real big issue.
I see. And obviously, the militia themselves. I mean, as well as the Saints too. You guys watch over the
yes, and that's exactly what Miss said to the PD when we was down there yesterday. It's a shame that you have not only the Saints and the militia, but other gang members. Missing the Aztecas down at the smeltery protecting miners before. Like, why is it that you are leaving? You're basically opening up the door for vigilantes to start surfacing, okay? And then when that happened, you guys are going to give the vigilantes shit. Excuse me language, Cheddar. But, you're going to harass the vigilantes when them are doing your job. And that's a shame, okay? It's an absolute shame that you have other groups that aren't being paid for it and that have to take time out of their day. As you know, Bishop, a very busy man, and we do a lot for the community, and what them doing is just taking away from the militia time that we can spend putting it back into the community, and now we have to take over and do the PD job because them too busy worrying about bank trucks and trying to, run investigations and things.
Absolutely. That's well, Bishop, thank you so much for sharing that. That's
absolutely, brother. Yeah, it's a mouthful.
I'm at a loss for words, to be honest, because it's just there's so much information going into my head. It's ridiculous. I'm just going to read out our sponsors here just before we carry on with the interview. So today's episode, as always, is sponsored by Ted's Taxis. Ted's Taxis is the premier taxi of Los Santos, getting you from A to B with very cheap rates, very cheap prices, and great banter. We're also sponsored by Bahama Mamas, which is having its grand opening today at 8 p.m. Eastern. If anybody's looking for a good time, head on down to Bahama Mamas. So that's Bahama Mamas, grand opening, 8 p.m. EST. So Bishop,
Ted,
that was a lot of heavy stuff that we've just talked about. That's a lot of heavy stuff, and I think we will go back to it. But just to move off the track a little bit, and I hear you're quite a musical.
Sorry to interrupt, Ted, but I think it would be a good idea to break here for intermission. Just to stretch our legs. So
right, yes, of course, yes. If that's how we're feeling, yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, if everybody wants to take 5, go outside and mingle, and obviously, if you like, Hans over there is selling some lovely food goods. If anybody's hungry, feel free to go up and have some food, and we'll convene back here in about 5 minutes.
What's your name, ma'am?
My name's Ari.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done business with Leo's New and Used?
I have actually, yes.
Would you like to review him?
Oh, sure.
What would you give him?
I would give him. Well, what's the rating here?
Anything you want.
I would say 7 stars out of 7 stars.
7 of 7. Okay.
He is a very reliable businessman, and I highly recommend him.
Okay. He's reliable. He's also dancing on a shipping container right now, I know.
Yeah, he's
loving it.
He's working on the raffle right now. There's a lot of names.
Okay. So have you ever done business with Leo Larson before?
I have, lots of times.
Awesome. If I could ask you each to give him a rating. So on a scale of a frozen plain Pop-Tart to a nice toasty strawberry frosted, he's a chocolate.
Yes,
Love it. Perfect. All right, and how about you, sir?
He's definitely one cuddly teddy bear out of regular bears.
So like on the scale, the scale being like the old shitty teddy bear that you had when you were a little kid to the big giant one you win at the circus. He's like the nice, perfect cuddly.
Yeah, he's perfect size.
Okay, so we got chocolate Pop-Tart and cuddly teddy bear. All right, great. Thank you, fellas. Wait. Pretty good. Have you ever done business with Leo's New and Used before?
Yes, I have.
Would you do me the pleasure of giving him a rating based on any rating system that you choose?
500 out of 10.
My big toe, Travis. Why are you trying to ruin my event?
No, Leo, I've asked like 10 people. You're getting consistently sweet scores across the board. Wait till you see the new...
Never mind.
Yeah,
Keep bumping the event up. Let's get
that's right. All right, what was it again?
500 out of 10.
See that, Leo? You just got a 500 out of 10.
What's the worst flavor Skittle?
exactly, yeah.
Like the lemon one?
Yeah. So like on a scale from the lemon
Skittle
to like the green apple, like the green one, you know?
Is that your favorite?
He's a green. Yeah.
Okay, so he's a green apple Skittle.
Yeah, so he's good. Yeah.
If I had to rate him on a scale from 1 glizzy to 10 glizzies, Leo Larson is like a solid 10 glizzies.
That's honest. I appreciate that, Maxie. So I would ask that you come up with your own rating system and give him a rating.
I would say, 10 out of 10. Leo's, always answering phone calls and,
Nice.
we'll drive out to wherever you are. Even though he's all the way out in Toledo, he'll drive and bring you the car out to the city and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I give Leo a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, service with a smile.
Yeah, 10
I
out of
love
10, service with a smile. Absolutely.
Great.
He's
Awesome.
very customer service focused.
He definitely is. I think everybody here's bought a car from him, right?
I think everyone in town knows who Leo is.
Okay then, guys, let's get back into it. So we've had a nice little break. I hope you've all enjoyed you got a little hamburger or a little sandwich from Hans there. So let's get back into the questions then, shall we? So that was a lot of heavy stuff that we just discussed there. That was a lot of heavy stuff we discussed, Bishop. But I want to get to know a little bit of your sort of other side. Obviously, we know the militia side of you, Bishop, the freedom fighter in you. But I want to know a little bit more about your musical side. So you play a little bit of music, do you, Bishop?
So I mean, not that me play music as far as instruments, but me been emceeing, or I guess you can say rhyming or whatever, since me was about 11. Through my mid-20s, me started up my own record label, and me was doing producing and making original beats and rapping and filming music videos and all types of things. Me always been a lover of music or whatever, and me feel like the world can be hailed with a good song.
Excellent. And obviously at Weasel News HQ, we have great musical facilities. Would you be bringing any of your music to the city at all?
Oh, absolutely. So that's one of my original plans, is to, start up the record label again, because I feel like, well, for one, there's a lot of, hidden musical talent throughout the city. A couple of militia members, able to play instruments and sing. We met a lot of talent, and we think that the city would benefit from some original music, that they can drive around in their vehicle and listen to, play it at a party, feel a sense of, feel more personal, because the person that it could be their best friend, and they're on a record and they're listening to their best friend sing their heart out.
It's great. Yeah. And so with that said, would you like to mention any names at all of people you've met in the city that have a little bit of musical talent?
Oh, absolutely. So my militia brother Derek plays a mean acoustic guitar, and he's also a bass player. I'm sure that several of y'all are familiar with Luther down at Night Kids. He actually does a lot of vocals. We met a rap artist by the name of Mitch. And unfortunately, we missed his gig, his act at the Split Side the other day. But apparently, he got a good, he got good words passed down to me that him did a real well job.
Excellent.
Yes, Miss Sister Evelyn played a piano. And we heard from a lot of other people that we haven't discovered. There's a lot of musical talent out there. Them just hiding in the chateaus. So Bishop planned to do something about that, and pretty soon we're gonna be doing a musical talent show at the Bahama Mama, so that we, first place will win a record label contract with Militia Records.
Excellent. That sounds great, and we'll get to Bahama Mamas in just a second. So Bishop, what is it that you really want to achieve in the city? Is it the record label?
That is, my ultimate goal is, obviously, my personal goal is, me want to put out good music and stuff like that. But honestly, like me say, me all about the community, and me want to, help in any way possible, to try and clean up, the law enforcement, and make sure it's, represented by, public servants and not authoritarians, Also, one of the things that we really want to do is, me try to unite all groups, whether they're groups or gangs, I'm saying, no matter what color them, claim. Me want to make sure that, the working class feel protected and feel safe when them fly into the city and punch into, work that day and stuff like that. Me have aspirations to see this community grow into something special, and it's already on its way there. We just need a bit of fine tuning,
I think I agree with those sentiments wholeheartedly. I think that's lovely. That's really well said. And when it's all said and done, Bishop. Now we've got Jesus in the building here, but what do you want God to say at the pearly gates when it's all said and done?
Well, when me meet him, me want him to tell me that me did good, and that he knows that me lived me days out trying to be the best person that me can be, and that me was selfless and generous and humble and proud like a true Rastafari.
Fantastic. And Bishop, this has been an absolute privilege just to have you here. And some of the stuff you've been saying has been mind blowing, thought provoking. It's really touched me in ways I can't describe. But Bishop, is there anything going on in your life right now? Anything at all? Any promotion? I know you've got something coming up pretty big tonight, right? 8 o'clock. Is there anything you want to share with the rest of us?
Yeah, so I mean, as a lot of people probably know, the militia are all about starting businesses and helping people start businesses and stuff like that. So there's definitely going to be a lot more fun job opportunities for people to work at, a fun place where they can get lots of interaction and stuff like that. One of them places being the Bahama Mama, which, as you stated earlier, we're having the grand opening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also working with the the Vanilla Unicorn, and they're also going to be throwing a event piggybacking that one at the Bahama Mama, and that one is going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're trying to bring a lot of fun to the community and stuff like that. And then again, like me say, the my record label, Militia Records, going to be, coming out soon, and going to be running the Cut Talent Show and things like that. So just trying to, bring fun events and things like that to the community that, that them can enjoy and not have to deal with the everyday stress,
I can't sing very well, Bishop, but I will give that talent show a run for its money. Don't you worry.
Absolutely.
Well, Bishop, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. The stuff you've said, like I said, is fantastic, really thought-provoking, and something we can all take away from it and think of ourselves after this is all done. So that is the end of Chatting with Cheddar tonight. Thank you very much, every single one of you, for coming. Thank you very much for Bishop for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for Baron for being our MC, Travis for being on the camera. Thank you very much to Hans for selling our hot dogs. And thank you very much for the militia for doing security. Thank you so much for coming out again, guys. I really do appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. And make sure to join us again next Saturday. We'll have more Chatting with Cheddar. Thank you all very much.